Hey everybody, it's Manny Manarat, founder of It All Starts With You, where we teach you how you can unlock your vegan superpowers. Now today we're going to be making vegan chocolate fudge brownies. I'm often asked, when you are a vegan, do you really get to enjoy wonderful foods? And I'm here to tell you, yes you can. And the reason why I want to share with you this recipe is because it's something that anyone can get started on. It's very easy to make, it doesn't take long at all, and it's absolutely delicious. So the reason why I recommend that you do make your own sweets is because it is a whole lot cheaper. It's really good to see that companies and shops out there are making vegan friendly desserts, but the truth of it is that they're not always necessarily good for you. Just because they're vegan, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have massive amount of calories in there and that there is a lot of fat. What we need to do is, by making things at home, we have the power to choose what ingredients we put in there so that it's not as calorie dense and also it has higher nutritional value in there. But also, it can still be delicious and you can get a whole lot more out of it. Another reason for you to make them at home is because they'll be a whole lot fresher as well. As soon as you've got them ready, you can enjoy them straight away. So what we're going to do is I'm going to quickly run through the ingredients with you. So follow me and we'll go to the board where I've listed all the ingredients. So here is the recipe for our vegan chocolate fudge brownies. What we need is 3/4 of a cup of wholemeal plain flour, 3/4 of a cup of brown rice flour, 1/2 cup of cocoa powder, 1.5 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, 1.5 cups of agave nectar. You can use agave nectar, or you can use maple syrup, or you can use golden syrup, or you can use all three. But as long as it equates up to 1.5 cups. 1/2 cup of soy milk, 1/2 cup of walnuts, 300 grams of regular firm tofu, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, let's get started on our vegan chocolate fudge brownies. What we're going to do is, we're going to start off with the dry ingredients first. With any baking, you always put the dry ingredients together and the wet ingredients together. So to start off, we need our plain flour. Okay. So it's 3/4 of a cup. And I should just have about just enough, thankfully. Now normally you do get, you are recommended to sift flour. I tried that once, it didn't work. It ended up just separating the flour from the grains. So I don't recommend that you do that.
What's so funny?
I have no idea. I just get excited about making cake.
Oh, right.
Okay. Okay, next you need brown rice flour, so that also is 3/4 of a cup.
Oh, yeah.
Don't use white, please. That's refined flour. Please stick to your brown choices. Okay, so that's your brown rice. Okay. Hey Eddie, could you flip the board over so I can have a look at the list of ingredients? Okay. You might have to help me with that. My recipe is upside down. Okay. So 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. Now, use unsweetened cocoa powder. Otherwise, it's going to make the recipe much too sweet. And I haven't tried this recipe with sweetened cocoa powder, so I have no idea what measurements you would need if you were to use the sweetened version. Okay, that looks almost half a cup. This is what's going to give it that beautiful chocolatey taste. In it goes. And then next on the list, Eddie, is
Baking powder.
baking powder, 1.5. Okay, my baking powder is in this jar.
1.5 teaspoons.
1.5 teaspoons. Okay. Okay. Now this is just a reused container. I'm not putting any tomato base in there. It's always good to recycle our containers, right, Eddie? Next is 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Okay. And then 1.5 teaspoons.
No, 1.5 cups of agave nectar.
1.5 cups of agave nectar. Okay. I am going to mix it up because I've got some leftover maple syrup and some golden syrup, so I'm going to make 1.5 cups with that. Okay, so I'm just filling up the rest of the agave nectar. We want to make 1.5 cups. Now, agave nectar is dearer than sugar, but agave comes from the agave plant and it is packed full of nutrients and minerals and antioxidants, whereas you won't get that if you're using sugar. Okay, it's got a honey-like consistency to it. It's low GI and it's easily absorbed as well by our body, easily digested. And if you get the unfiltered version, which is usually the dark agave nectar, because they do come in different variations, it's got a caramel taste to it and it's got the highest concentration of antioxidants and minerals and vitamins. And agave nectar is 1.4 to 1.6 times sweeter than sugar as well. So now what we want to do is we are going to grind up some walnuts. Okay, so we need about 1/2 cup of walnuts. Please choose your natural ones, not the roasted ones, because when nuts are roasted, it does destroy some of the good properties that you get out of nuts. So you don't want to go for the roasted ones, you want the raw ones. So we'll go 1/2 cup. Now, last time I made these, I grinded them up just a bit too much so that when they went into the mixture, you ended up not really tasting the nuts. So I'm going to ask you to grind it up just very quickly, but not that it's grounded.